go. This should be quick.
Look, I know it looks bad. I had nothing. I didn't kill that man. Everything was like that when I found it. I can explain, seriously. So, I show up with the truck, a little late, like 30 minutes or something.
This is a truck full of drugs, right?
Yeah, but it's not important. So, I walk in and find it like I usually do, empty. So, I start heading for the storage container, but that's when I see it there. This body, blood everywhere. I mean, something straight out of a horror flick. Knew right away this was some major shit. I'm thinking that this is nuts, so I start to look around like maybe somebody else is here. But it's empty and this place is ransacked. Stuff's thrown around, looks like drugs are missing, cases missing. Hell, some of the other side rooms were forced open as well. It's a giant mess.
I got a tip from an insider about a murder victim inside a warehouse. Now, we both know that there's little evidence, but I think you can help fill in the blanks.
I'm sure man said a lot of things. How many of them actually happened depends on what he smoked last.
How did you...
Look, man's a passable driver, occasionally useful for moving furniture, but in a battle of wits, I'm taking whoever's across from him.
Well, let me run through.
Sweetheart, I'm gonna save you the trouble and run you through what actually happened. I get a phone call from the fool at like 2 in the morning. I drag myself out of bed and stumble into the warehouse. I'm not expecting much, probably locked out of the safe or issues with the loading bay opener. But I show up and there's this dead body lying on the ground and this idiot's running around.
What was the state of the room?
Well, I don't remember. I was a bit more focused on the dead body.
So, what did you do with man?
I got him to calm down a little, but he wouldn't stay in the room while we waited for McSam, so I shoved him into one of the side rooms.
You said you called McSam, right?
Yeah?
2 weeks ago, a dead body was reported at one of your warehouses.
An alleged warehouse.
Based on several testimonies, you are at the center of it all.
A little weak, but based off my previous experiences with you people, I expect nothing less.
Well, this time, I think I have something strong.
Though, let me tell you what happened, okay? I make my way there after getting a call from Heather saying that man found a dead body, which means someone must have let him in.
How do you know that?
There were no signs of a break-in when I arrived. The place looked normal, and I left around 10:30 with everyone else. So I show up, I see this dead body. I do a quick check over it for any ID, and I don't find anything. And then I tell Heather to call the cleaner and check for any broken locks.
How many people were at the warehouse that night?
4.
So that's yourself, Heather, McSam, and...
The cleaner was there.
The cleaner?
I don't really know anything about them, just that they make stuff disappear.
You said you called McSam, right?
Yeah. Once man was locked in, he wasn't happy.
Why? It's not like he hasn't dealt with dead bodies before.
Firstly, you can't prove that. And second, it matters when it's someone called Albrecht.
There are some other details I want to go over with you. Firstly, missing items.
Who mentioned that?
Both. Heather mentioned you called for an inventory check.
And what did man say?
Place is ransacked. Stuff's thrown around.
He mentioned the place was looking like it was robbed.
Any, specific items?
Nothing really. The most specific thing was your business partner, Albrecht. Who is that exactly?
Hell if I actually know. But the boss seemed to care an awful lot.
Heather had mentioned that you seemed a little scattered.
Why would I be scattered?
At first, I thought it was because Albrecht had found and you didn't want him to be. But then I remembered the 2 people from last year. So, the only thing that I could come up with is that it isn't Albrecht, but instead it's an item associated with Albrecht.
He had a private conversation with him before heading over to one of the rooms. I saw him leave the room, but didn't pay much attention to it.
How did the side rooms get open?
I don't know.
Could it have been left open?
No, they all should have been closed when McSam left.
But you left out the fact that the side rooms should have been locked.
That factory has dozens of doors. I doubt that any single person could remember everything that should or could be locked.
Someone who cares an awful lot about an item in one of those side rooms. What kind of object was it?
I don't know. It looked like some kind of briefcase.
What's in the case?
Just some career relevant materials.
What was Ulrich doing bringing it to you? Was it blackmail?
Hold on. No. I requested Albrecht put that stuff together and bring it to me. So why would I kill him over something I requested?
It's like drugs are missing, case is missing.
Then who else knew about the case's value?
No one else should have known. It was me, Albrecht, and one other who's currently in Canada.
Heather mentioned seeing you talk with Albrecht and take a case into a room.
But she was over by the tables checking payments, so she would have seen it, but she wouldn't have known what was, important about it at all.
It's early, before 2 a.m., and there's a meeting between someone who could open the warehouse and Albrecht. Obviously, it all goes south. Before breaking into the side rooms, ignoring everything else, man said number 12 was the one you threw him in.
It couldn't have been 12.
Why not?
That's just a cleaning closet. You can't fit someone in there. There's too many shelves.
You almost got away with it. I had counted you out. So, the first question I really had was why somebody would kill Albrecht. And you helped answer that.
I did?
And there was one common thread. McSam seemed surprised that I knew what it was, and even more surprised when I mentioned that one of you two told me. Now.
Fine. I was snooping around and overheard the boss and Albrecht talking about the case.
But this adds a bit of a wrinkle to the entire story.
I didn't do shit to Albrecht.
But you did, didn't you? Now, you in fact did show up on time to open the warehouse, letting Albrecht inside in order to talk with him. I'm willing to guess that it was about getting your hands on the case. Now, this all goes south, and you end up pulling a gun and shooting Albrecht in the head before you go and find a case in the side rooms. Now, we have a warrant in progress to search your house, and I'm sure we'll find a recently fired gun. So, what happened with the case then?
It wasn't there.
What?
It wasn't there. I forced it open and there was no case.